Nestled on the outskirts of a quiet town stood Westgate Clinic, a place shrouded in unsettling stories. Locals whispered of strange occurrences within its peeling walls and flickering lights. Once a bustling hospital, it had closed decades ago, but the town's health department recently reopened it as a clinic to help with an overflow of cases. Despite its functional facade, a shadowy atmosphere pervaded, as if the walls held memories better left forgotten. Sarah, a new night nurse, had heard the rumors about Westgate Clinic, but she dismissed them as urban legends. Her first few shifts passed quietly, though she couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Her footsteps echoed eerily down the empty corridors, and she often thought she heard soft whispers around corners. One night, when most patients were asleep, she noticed the lights in room 104 were flickering again, a room notorious among staff for its unnerving reputation. Patients placed in room 104 would frequently complain of feeling cold or of seeing a figure lurking in the corner of their vision. Yet when they looked, there was nothing there. Some even claimed to hear faint crying at night. Sarah tried to ignore the complaints, chalking them up to overactive imaginations in the face of sickness. But tonight, something felt different. She entered room 104, intending to fix the flickering light, and felt a chill settle over her as she crossed the threshold. The air in the room was icy, and a low hum seemed to vibrate through the walls. Sarah glanced around and saw a shadow shift against the far wall. It was a shape vaguely humanoid but wrong, somehow stretched and elongated in a way that defied logic. She blinked and it was gone. Convincing herself it was a trick of the light, she left the room, her heart hammering in her chest. The following night, Sarah was assigned to night duty alone. Around midnight, as she was checking the patient charts, she felt a prickle on the back of her neck. When she turned, she saw a figure at the end of the hallway. It looked like a patient, but its limbs were bent at odd angles, its head twisted slightly to one side as though broken. Before she could react, it faded into the wall as if melting into shadow. Her blood ran cold. The whispering grew louder, and she could make out faint words. "Help us, we're trapped." Determined to uncover the truth, Sarah began digging into the clinic's history. She learned that, years ago, there had been a tragic fire in what was then the hospital's psych ward. The doors had malfunctioned, locking the patients and staff inside. Many had perished in agony, and their bodies were never properly laid to rest. Some believed their souls remained trapped within the clinic's walls, desperate for release. Over the next few nights, the hauntings grew more intense. Shadows darted from room to room. Whispers turned to anguished cries, and once, she even felt a cold hand grip her shoulder in the dark. On her last shift, she felt compelled to enter room 104 once more. As she stepped inside, the air grew frigid, and the door slammed shut behind her. She turned, panicked, only to see shadowy figures emerging from the walls, their faces twisted in torment. She backed against the wall, trapped. Her flashlight flickered, and in that strobe-like moment, she could see their forms more clearly. Scarred faces, burned skin, mouths stretched open in silent screams. One figure, its eyes hollow, reached out to her and whispered, "Free us." In a desperate attempt to escape, Sarah whispered a shaky prayer, clutching her flashlight like a lifeline. The figures faded, but the whispers remained, echoing through the halls even as she fled the clinic. She never returned, and soon after, rumors spread that the clinic was closing again. Staff and patients refused to stay in a place where shadows seemed to have a life of their own. Years later, the clinic still stands, empty and silent. Yet passersby claim that on quiet nights, they can still hear faint cries drifting from within, begging for release, forever bound to the haunted clinic where shadows lurk.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and help grow the channel. Your support means a lot and helps us keep bringing you more content.